Hey guys, welcome to PNW Enduro. Today we're comparing small bore two-strokes. I'm on the 2020 Beta 200RR. I got Kaylee in front of me on the 2020 KTM 150XC-W TPI. Way out in front, we also got Kevin, who's on his KTM 350. We're each going to try all these bikes today. We're going to compare the two small bore two-strokes, see what we think of them. So we're going to get a perspective of 3 different levels. We got Kaylee here, who's a beginner. Myself, more experienced rider. And Kevin out in front, who is a AA racer. So we'll get a good perspective of kind of 3 different stages of riding and how the bikes work for each one of us. So I've been riding this 200 a few times now, this demo bike. I've ridden a couple 150s in the past. I've ridden the KTM and the Husky ones, and honestly not all that excited about them. They didn't really do it for me, but I've been wanting to try this new fuel injected one. Apparently it's much improved, so looking forward to trying that out today. Got some interesting weather now. It's starting to hail. Kaylee's doing a good job on these loose hill climbs. Looks like the 150 is tractoring up these hills pretty nicely. This trail can be a little bit intimidating for a beginner because, as you can see to my left, there's quite a bit of a ledge. Okay, KTM 150. This is the 2020 TPI version. First time on the fuel injected 150 for me. So this bike's got a lowered seat on it. It's very comfortable. It's like sitting on a sofa. Stretch the legs a little bit on the 150. So definitely right away, a lot less vibrations on the 150 compared to the Beta 200. Suspension is set up really plush. Really comfortable. I think they've got it on the mild setting as far as the forks set up. Comfort. Seems to have pretty good bottom end power. Mellow hit. 150 seems to have a lot more bottom end power than the carbureted 150s I've tried. Feels like you can ride them without having to wring them out all the time. It's actually quite an improvement. The idle on the TPI bike is perfect. There's no stalling on the long, slow downhills. It's a definite advantage of the fuel-injected bikes. So Kevin's out front trying out the beta. I'm doing my best to keep up to him. Suspension nice and plush. He's got a good decent hit to the power in his faster stuff. But still lots of grunts down low. I think that new pipe design for the 150 is really a big advantage. So it does have a pretty decent hit, like when you're getting the faster stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I can't believe how much better it lugs than the old 150s. So we're testing turning radius, doing full lock turns on both the bikes.
More full lock.
I think he's full locked. You can't go any more than full.
No, unless I dent those rods a little more.
Yeah. I think I pulled a muscle climbing up here.
Did you?
Okay, full lock on the 150. You can see the rut that's made from the 200. And Kevin's a fair bit tighter. So that's going to make a difference on your switchbacks, single track riding for sure. The KTM still has the steering stops in it as well.
This one feels more stable at full lock too.
Yeah, your turn is definitely tighter. Okay, back on the Beta 200 double R. It's definitely more lively, a lot more pep to it than the 150. right, Kaylee, first off, let's see, how long have you been riding for?
Coming up to 3 years in August, I think. And
Okay.
only a couple months riding a full-size bike.
Okay, you were on a 105 before.
Yeah.
So now you're on the 150XC-W TPI. And how you like that bike so far?
Love it.
Yeah?
I love everything about it. Yeah. Smooth, it's easy. It goes over things pretty well with the big tires compared to a 105. It's really solid feeling for me, which I really appreciate. The 105.
Good stuff. So today you also rode the Beta 200.
Yes.
How did you felt that compared?
So I don't know if it was because I'm a newer rider going on another new bike, so it took a little bit to get used to it. It definitely feels a lot more peppy and kind of crazier a little bit. You feel a lot more stuff, I feel like, compared to this bike here.
So Kaylee, what bike would you say is better for a beginner rider?
I think that the incredible thing about this is that the height of it is really great, and it's light, and it's got the big wheels. This one I really like because it's a lot smoother. They both have really good power for chugging along sort of thing, so you can pretty much they're both tractors, I feel like. But this would be a really great bike for a beginner lady if they didn't want to go to a 105 or a smaller bike like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think the lower seat height is a big advantage right off the bat?
Huge advantage.
Yeah.
I was actually quite worried about it being too tall, but it wasn't too tall feeling at all. So.
Cool. So Kevin, what is your experience with dirt biking?
Pretty much been riding since I was born. Got my first bike for my 4th birthday and have been like riding and racing for the most part ever since then. Currently racing masters, was 2nd place in the championship this year in BC.
Right on, congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
So you're riding 350 this year, you've been on a 450 before and 300s as well. Riding both these small bore 2-strokes, what do you think of them today?
It's kind of like a blast from the past. It reminds me when I was like a teenager. They're both pretty fun to ride. They both have like surprisingly different power. The Beta is a lot like, kind of needs more aggression to like keep it on the pipe. And this one didn't seem to need quite as much aggression to keep it like in the power. I don't know how much the Recluse will play into effect for that or not.
Yeah.
The KTM has the Recluse in it, and Beta doesn't.
So you think it may be a little bit more linear with the KTM?
Feels like it is probably a little more linear. And
Okay.
the transmission felt a little bit, like first gear on the Beta pretty much didn't even touch it because it was like, even starting it's just the 2nd gear and go, and it didn't need to go down there, whereas this one I felt first gear was an okay place to start out.
Okay, so with these two bikes, if you were to pick one to race this year, which one would you race?
I'd probably go for the KTM just because it has a lot bigger layout. The Beta feels a lot smaller, and I'm a bigger guy, so I'll take the bigger feeling bike. And just like suspension, both of them I'd have to redo both of them because both of them are way too soft for me. But stock to stock, this one seems a lot smoother. This one it's soft enough, but there's like certain harshnesses in the fork that I don't know, but maybe you can get rid of it with clickers or something. But
Yeah, possible revalve though.
yeah.
Okay, good. Out of gas. So I'll wrap up this video with my thoughts on these two bikes. First off, the Beta 200. I've been riding this bike for a while now, and I really like the smaller feel of the bike with the smaller frame and lower seat height. The fun factor on this bike is high, especially when you're in a little bit more fast and flowy single track. The bike seems to be at its best when you're pushing your pace and riding aggressively. It really feels like a race bike. My biggest complaint with the 200 is I could never really get comfortable on the forks. There's a bit of a harshness in the mid-stroke, and I could never really tune that out, and it was kind of holding me back a little bit. I also found that first gear was just way too short, and it was hard to do much of anything in first gear. Now on to the KTM 150XC-W TPI. I'll have to admit, riding some of the earlier carbureted versions of this bike, I didn't come in with high expectations. This new fuel-injected model totally blew me away. It's a completely different bike, and it is so much better than the older versions. The bike produces much better linear, usable power compared to the older models. I think this is due to the new expansion chamber, which is designed more like a 250 or 300 traditional pipe. I also felt pretty good on the suspension. I'm a fan of the softer Explorer forks, and the PDS shock was also working quite well for me. Another thing to note is the transmission. I'm usually not a fan of the wide ratio XCW transmission, but I didn't find any of the awkward gaps in between second and third like I usually do, so this one felt quite comfortable for me. I also felt first gear on this bike produced a lot more usable power. I really didn't have any complaints with the 150, and I think it'd be a good bike for a lot of different riders. If I was picking between these two bikes, it would be the 150, but I would give the edge to the 200 for the more aggressive riders. If you have any questions on either one of these bikes, post them up in the comments, and if you like these type of videos, give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed. I'll have more videos coming out soon. Till then, thanks for watching.
Mm-hmm.